Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
But I started investing in cryptos in 2016, and in less than 2 years I've gained more than 4,000% returns. But don't forget that you've been born as a new crypto investor in the long summer. Winter is coming. I started investing in cryptos again in 2018, and in less than 3 years I gained more than 2,000% returns. Winter, summer, and winter again. What? You know nothing, Jon Snow. Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to a very important video which is about analyzing crypto winters. I'm sure you have been hearing this term crypto winter these days quite frequently. And if you are following my Instagram handle, you have already watched this reel about crypto winters. But just in case if you don't know the meaning, I'll just quickly tell you it's nothing but a bear phase in the crypto market which lasts for more than 6 months. This term was originally used in the crypto winter of 2018, and this term was inspired from the famous series Game of Thrones. In 2018, Bitcoin lost more than half of its market cap, while cryptos such as ETH, Litecoin also dropped sharply. Well, we are going to understand the reasons of this fall in 2018, but before that, even if you have a look at this chart, you will understand that after this fall, the trading volume remained very low for 8 to 9 months. But then what happened after that as well is also very interesting. But first come first, we are going to understand the reasons of the fall in 2018. Well, like we saw in the pre-bumper of the video, from 2016 to 2018, Bitcoin rose by more than 4,000% in less than 2 years. But what happened in 2018 was a classic case of the crypto bubble burst. There were multiple reasons for the same, but today we are going to discuss the top 5 reasons for the same. The very first one is that at that time, the entire crypto market was full of ICOs, that is the initial coin offers. Many crypto projects were coming up, and people left, right, center started to investing in these projects without even understanding the basics of these projects. And unfortunately, as expected, majority of the projects ended up failing, and this in turn destroyed the wealth of the crypto investors. Moving on to the second reason, on 11th January 2018, there were rumors, there were articles that South Korea could ban crypto trading. Now you might be like, what's so big about South Korea banning crypto? You must know that South Korea is one of the top 10 countries for ease of doing business. All such countries who fall into the top 10 category are countries which are forward-looking and which encourage upcoming projects. A country like this banning crypto was surely not taken in a positive way, and on the same day, Bitcoin fell by almost 11%. On 26th of January 2018, CoinCheck, which was Japan's largest cryptocurrency OTC, was hacked, and 530 million worth US dollars of NEM coins were stolen by the hackers. This was apparently the largest ever incidence of theft by any hacker, which caused CoinCheck to indefinitely suspend its trading. On 7th March 2018, Binance platform was feared to be hacked. A lot of customers also complained about the same, and Binance said that yes, we have found out that there are certain irregular trades. They said that we have reversed all these trades and we have indemnified all the losses. But once the trust is broken, it is going to have the impact on the market. And on the same day, Bitcoin fell. In fact, in the next 3 days, Bitcoin fell by more than 20%. In late 2018 March, Facebook, Google, Twitter banned ads for initial coin offerings. But then, with all these 5 important points, I hope you have understood that yes, there was a fall, there was a big fall. But what are the main learnings from this crypto 2018 winter is what we are going to discuss in the next section of the video. So now let's come to the learnings from the crypto winter of 2018. As you already know, many tokens lost a majority of their value. So whenever you invest your hard-earned money in any crypto token, it is very important to DYOR. And what is that? Do your own research. Don't blindly invest in any crypto just because your friend is telling. You have to do a lot of research by yourself and then only invest in that crypto token. Number two is that whenever you are investing, you should not invest madly in this asset class, because everyone knows that this is a very volatile asset class. I've saying about this crypto investing that you should invest only an amount which is equivalent to your party fund. But still you might be wondering that Rachana, in spite of the 2018 crash, agreed that only party fund, but still you are saying you should invest. So for that, we must understand what happened after 2018. Did the crash continue and did the value go down to zero? Answer is no. In fact, in the next 3 years, the value of Bitcoin rose by more than 2000% in less than 3 years. It is your responsibility that you have to smash the like button, so much so that our likes rise by more than 2000% in the next 3 seconds. Remember what I said at the end of the pre-bumper? I said it was winter, summer, and winter again. And that's what happened in 2022, where BTC crashed by almost 74% in a matter of less than 8 months. But then what were the reasons which led to this fall? Of course, reasons were multiple, but in this video, we are going to discuss about the top 4 reasons for this fall. On 16th May 2022, Fed raised its rate for the very first time, which was surely taken as a negative news by the crypto market. On 9th of May 2022, UST and Luna crashed. On 12th June 2022, Celsius halted all the withdrawals. And on 2nd July 2022, 3AC filed for bankruptcy. And I'm sure that you have understood nothing. So what we are going to do is we are going to understand all these 4 reasons in detail in the coming section of the video. Well, starting with the first reason of the crypto crash of 2022, you need to understand that in any economy, there are 2 basic phases. One is known as the expansionary phase and one is known as the recessionary phase. In expansionary phase, it's something like all is well, everyone has a lot of disposable income and people try and invest in multiple asset classes, including certain riskier asset classes as well. But in the recessionary phase, people have comparatively less disposable income, money is dearer, and people are not willing to invest or park their funds in comparatively risky assets. Big question is, in which sort of economy are we in right now? We are right now in somewhere this sort of an economy, right? What is happening currently? If you are following the macroeconomic indicators, I'm sure you know that United States of America is fighting with inflation. In fact, in June 2022, the inflation figure that came up was 4-decadal high inflation at almost 9.1%. Now, to combat this inflation, what US government did was that they said we are going to increase the interest rate. So basically, US government is basically the US Fed said that we are going to increase the interest rates. And do you know how quickly have the interest rates risen over the past 1 year, or maybe less than that? Have a look at this. The yields basically have increased from almost 0.4% to 3% plus in less than 1 year. Now, what would individuals do? Obviously, they would want to sell off their investments in comparatively riskier assets and would want to park their money in comparatively safer assets. Would only retail individual investors do that? And answer is obviously not. Institutional investors would also do the same, and this was the first trigger of the sell-off, where many institutional investors started to sell off their crypto assets and started to park their money in comparatively very much safe government securities. Now let's move on with the second reason of crypto 2022 winter, and this reason was mainly because of the fall of UST and Luna. You have to first understand what is UST. UST is a stable token. How stable? Basically, 1 UST is pegged to 1 USD. Basically, they are going to be equal. So now you can understand that because USD is not very volatile, UST is also going to remain more or less stable. Now, the algorithm was built in such a way that this peg should never be broken, and just in case if UST value goes to 0.98, then arbitrageurs would rush in and they would enjoy the arbitration gains, and they would ensure that this peg is maintained at 1 UST will remain with equivalent to 1 USD. But then because of certain mechanism failures, UST lost its peg and started to crash. Wait. Now, if you were to understand the reason of this crash, you have to understand what role did Luna, another crypto token, play. So for that, let's park this issue as of now and understand the fall of Luna. Now let's understand about Luna token. Luna is another token on the same Terra platform, but Luna and UST are correlated with each other. But how? Basically, if you want to generate UST, then you can do that by burning Luna, and if you want to generate Luna, then you can do that by burning UST. If this is clear, now let's understand with the help of simple economics, how was this used? When the value of UST started to decrease, tell me logically, what was to be done? The value, the supply of UST was to be controlled. To reduce the supply of UST, what could have been done? Basically, burn UST to generate more Luna. Now, because the supply was reduced and demand was more or less similar, I can say that the speed at which UST was falling started to get in control. But then wait, what has happened? Because UST was burnt and Luna was generated, more supply of Luna came into picture, and because of which higher supply and more or less similar demand is going to lead to a fall in the prices of Luna as well. Maybe in the crypto space, it led to a panic, and then the investors might be like, burn them all. So it was on this day, that is 9th May 2022, when the price of UST fell by 23% in a single day, whereas price of Luna fell by more than 52% in a single day. But what happened over the period of next 5 days is worth seeing. You can see the chart of USD right now, and you can very well understand why I said that UST is a stable coin. Have a look at that nice steady line. But after 9th May, in a matter of 5 days, this coin fell by almost 95% in a matter of 5 days. Whereas if you have a look at the Luna chart, you can see that this token fell by more than 99% in a matter of 5 days. Let's move on with the third reason of the crypto winter 2022, and that was the fall of Celsius. Now, for a simple understanding, you can visualize Celsius to be like a bank. What was its role? They used to take various tokens, say ETH, from the investors. So investors used to deposit ETH or any other token, and in return they would get yields on that. Yields could be as high as 18% or even more than that. Now Celsius used to give out these tokens to the required people who wanted them, and they used to charge them a higher yield, of course more than 18%, say 22% for that matter. So now what would be the profit of Celsius? It would be 22 minus 18. Simple. This is example number 1. Example number 2, what Celsius did was that, again same thing, investors, they used to deposit say ETH with Celsius. Now instead of lending this ETH to any other person, they used to stake this with another organization called as Lido. Now if Celsius was staking their ETH with Lido, of course they would ask for some proof that yes, I have staked my ETH with you, and instead of getting a receipt, what Celsius would get was a staked ETH in return. In simple words, I hope you will understand that 1 ETH will be equal to 1 staked ETH. It can also be represented like this, wherein you can easily understand that there is a clear-cut peg between 1 ETH and 1 staked ETH. But because of some unfortunate technical or mechanical reasons, this peg was again lost. Let's not go into the reasons, they are way too technical, but because of which the value of staked ETH started to crash like anything. Now you can understand that if the value of staked ETH falls, of course ETH is also going to fall. This was not the only reason for the fall of ETH, but surely one of the reasons for the fall in the value of ETH. Now what will happen? You can imagine that because ETH has also lost its value, all these investors would rush to Celsius and would demand for withdrawals. But on 12th June 2022, Celsius halted all the withdrawals from their platform, and because of this bad news, the token, their native token CEL, lost almost 70% of its value in 1 hour. And not only this, on 14th July 2022, Celsius declared its bankruptcy. Let's move on with the final reason of the crypto 2022 winter, and that was led with the fall of 3AC. 3AC, that is 3 Arrows Capital, is a crypto-focused hedge fund which was based out of Singapore. Now, they used to invest in various cryptos by taking loans from various institutions like blockchain.com, BlockFi and Voyager Digital. Now, the big question is that in which cryptos had this company invested? They had invested in UST, they had invested in Luna and Stake TTH, and of course few other cryptos as well. Now you can imagine that because of the huge plunge in the values of all these cryptos, do you think that 3AC would have been easily able to sustain this fall? Answer is obviously no, because they were playing a high leverage game. Due to this, on 2nd July 2022, 3AC plunged in liquidation and they filed for bankruptcy. Now think logically, what could have happened? Because 3AC filed for bankruptcy, do you think they might have been able to repay the loans? Answer is obviously no, and because of which blockchain.com took a hit of $270 million worth of amount. Similarly, Voyager Digital also took a hit of almost $670 million of amount, and on 5th July 2022, Voyager Digital also filed for bankruptcy. I hope you are understanding the chain reaction. Because 3AC failed, Voyager Digital also failed, blockchain also failed. But what do you think? Where had these institutions raised money from? They might have raised money from few other investors, and because they failed, few other institutions might have also collapsed. And that is the reason why I call this as a contagion effect or a chain effect because of the start of fall of 3AC. Now let's understand what happened after 18th June 2022. But you might be like, what happened on 18th June 2022? For that, let's have a look at these charts. BTC saw its lowest point on 18th June 2022. ETH also saw its lowest point on the same day, and Matic also saw its lowest point on the same day. Well, I'm sure you might be like, oh my god, what a chaos. But then always remember, as Lord Peter Baelish has said, chaos is a ladder. So we have to understand what happened after 18th June 2022. As you can see in Bitcoin, we saw a 25% rise in a matter of barely 1 month. ETH saw a rise of 63% in barely 1 month, and Matic saw a rise of a thumping 163% return in less than 1 month. So I think all in all, what is the conclusion of this? Because crypto is a very volatile asset class, are the prices going to fall sharply? Yes, but there is also a possibility that prices can rise sharply as well. But do you think that all cryptos might fall sharply and rise sharply? Answer is no. Only those cryptos who have some good fundamentals will have the capacity to rise. And even Mr. Ashish Singhal, who is the CEO of CoinSwitch, has tweeted in the same way. He also mentions that don't buy any crypto just because your friend tells you to do so. Don't sell any crypto just because your friend tells to do so. The underlying important point is, again, do your own research. Well, now that we have understood that from the rock bottom, few cryptos like BTC, ETH and Matic have also risen quite a bit, let's try at least to get 1 or 2 reasons for the same. If you have been following my videos on cryptos, you already know that BTC is coming up with a Taproot update, and this is going to be a positive sign for BTC. As far as ETH is concerned, Ethereum merge is to take place in mid-September, because of which ETH will be more scalable, more secure and more sustainable. As far as the 100% plus rise in Matic is concerned, you must understand that there are many mainstream entities which are adopting their blockchain for the migration of multiple projects on their Polygon network. Not only this, Polygon has established partnership with Coca-Cola to release a Pride series non-fungible token series on their network. In fact, Reddit has also announced launching of NFT marketplace on Polygon network on the 7th of July. In fact, recently, Polygon was the only blockchain network to be chosen as a part of Disney Accelerator program. With all these things as a base level understanding, if you are excited about this entire space, the big question is that if you decide to invest, should you invest all at one shot or should you invest systematically? My suggestion would be that you must invest only systematically, and you can do that with the help of CoinSwitch's SIP feature, With this feature, you can invest with as low as 100 rupees. And to do that, step number 1, you have to download the CoinSwitch app and the link is there in the description box. Once you do that, you will get BTC worth rupees 100 free of cost, and that's how slowly but steadily you will be able to start your investing journey in cryptos, but in a systematic manner. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you want to know more about top 5 cryptos in 2022, you can click here, and if you want to know more about what's in my portfolio, you can click here. Till then, take care, Jai Hind, and bye-bye.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.